Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur ki jai. Jai Saparikar Sri Sri Guru Gauranga Gandharva Govinda Sundar Ju ki jai. Sri Giriraj Govardhan ki jai. Sri Sri Gaur Nityananda Nitai Gaurachandra ki jai. Sri Rupanuga Guru Varga ki jai. Sri Rup Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Sri Jiva Gopal Bhatta Das Raghunath Shad Goswami Prabhu ki jai. Sri Swarup Ramananda ki jai. Namacharya Srila Das Thakur ki jai. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gau Bhaktivinoda ki jai. Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gop Gopinath Shyama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan ki jai. Vrindavan Dham ki jai. Nabadwip Dham ki jai. Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat ki jai. Sri Govinda Kunda ki jai. Sri Gupta Govardhan ki jai. Ganga Devi, Jamuna Devi, Bhakti Devi, Tulsi Devi ki jai. Om Vishnupad Vishvavarenya Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Acharya Vrinda ki jai. Jai Srila Bhakti Nirmal Acharya Maharaj Tirubal Mahamahotavati ki jai. Jai Srila Bhakti Ranjan Madhusudan Maharaj ki jai. Jai Srila Bhakti Vimalavadut Maharaj ki jai. Sannyasi Vrinda ki jai. Seva Vrinda ki jai. Samaveda Bhakti Vrinda ki jai. Nitai Go Premanande. Hare Krishna.
Jai Shri Bhakti Sudhir Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Nitai Go Premanande.
It was the disappearance of the great Acharya, founder Acharya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, that brought us out of our heart's inner necessity and connection, and deep connection with the holy lotus feet of Srila Guru Maharaj. I say that. It was our heart's genuine inner necessity at that time, because we were as if orphaned children. And really, for the most part, children. So young and inexperienced, and by causeless good fortune, connected with Krishna consciousness and the lotus feet of His divine grace. But no one knew how to process this unhappiest of all events that comes in the life of a disciple. No one knew what to say, what was appropriate, what was inappropriate. They could not find the words to express the pain in their hearts. The pain was there, no doubt, but no one was able to properly express anything. And really, out of desperation, and on the counsel of Srila Swami Maharaj Prabhupada, did the leading devotees of International Society for Krishna Consciousness approach Srila Guru Maharaj. Because Srila Prabhupada had said, after me, when that time comes, and the necessity is there to consult with the higher Vaishnava, you go to Sridhar Maharaj. So it was not a whimsical decision in any way. It was on the advice of Srila Prabhupada Swami Maharaj himself. He's saying, after me, when the necessity arises, that's what we're talking about. The heart's inner necessity he could understand that is going to grow and develop in the progressive disciple. And when that time comes after me, and your heart needs answers, then you go to Srila Sridhar Maharaj, whom he had said previously, I accept him as my Shiksha Guru, what to speak of the benefit that you can have from his association. When he would wonder about how he was going to continue in a particular situation, he would inquire from Srila Guru Maharaj and say, when Guru Maharaj's answer came, I take your advice on my head as if it's coming from Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur himself. That's how he accepted that. Not just soliciting an opinion from here or there. No, what you say, I take you as Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur's representative, and the advice you have given me, I accept it on my head. That means I take, Gur Vagya Shirishi Darjam Shaktabesha Swarupine, like that. So, it was Srila Guru Maharaj who told us how to process this experience, the unhappiest day, the unhappiest event in the disciple and any disciple's life. So when everyone assembled at the lotus feet of Srila Guru Maharaj to hear from him, they had many questions they wanted to ask. But before they asked a single question, Srila Guru Maharaj began to express what we were all unable to express. Right? And Srila Gurudev later, on the basis of what was expressed by Srila Guru Maharaj, he expressed this visually in the logo of Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat. We know there is also the flute of Krishna, Gayatri Muralista Kirtanandanam Radham Padam Dimai. But if we look, we will see there's the sun, lotus, and the water. So Srila Guru Maharaj says that Krishna is the sun, and the Shisha, the disciple, is the lotus. And he said, and Guru is the water in which the lotus is situated. And when the lotus is situated in the water, the safe waters of the Asraya Vigraha, Guru, then the infinitely hot sun of Krishna, Krishna conception, the lotus thrives. He's saying, but if you remove the water from the lotus, that very sun burns the lotus. So we cannot stand in the absence of the Ashraya Vigraha, or that shelter-giving personality, Sri Guru. In this way, Guru Maharaj explained how Guru-centric we are. And he quoted Srila Raghunath Das Goswami, the Prayojan Tattva Acharya of the Rupanuga line. And I remind you here, this is not a single question was asked. They came with many questions and subsequently were asked. But Srila Jayapataka Maharaj said, we've come to hear your esteemed Upadesh after the disappearance of our Gurudev. And Guru Maharaj began with this before any discussion. So in quoting Raghunath Das Goswami, who Guru Maharaj said, the best student in the Rupanuga line, the Prayojan Tattva Acharya, who tells us what our ultimate necessity is. we should preface this by saying, in the Shikshastakam of Mahaprabhu, we hear, Yugaitam nimishena chakshusha prabhishaitam sunyaitam jagat sarvam Govinda virahena me. Mahaprabhu is echoing and mirroring, echoing the sentiments of the heart of Srimati Radharani, mirroring her sentiments. He's saying, Govinda viraha, separation from Govinda is unbearable, and he said, yugaitam, like a yuga. That means, an indeterminable amount of time. Right? And saying, crying uncontrollably, profusely, tears in separation. Sunyaitam jagat sarvan, seeing the world as void, zero, less than zero. Sunyaitam jagat sarvam Govinda virahena me. Srila Guru Maharaj saying, Srila Raghunath Das Goswami, he has his famous prayers called the Bilap Kusumanjali. Like, at the end today, we will have Pushpanjali, we will offer some flowers. Here he's saying Kusum Manjali, Pushpanjali, Kusum means flower, Kusum Manjali. He's saying Bilap means this, his heart's lamentation. And what's coming from the heart of Das Goswami, he's saying, that's an offering. They're offerings that are coming from the heart of Srila Raghunath Das Goswami in his separation. His guru-viraha, the separation he's feeling from Sri Guru. We know that means Sri Rupa, but ultimately Lalita, Vishnu, Swarup, Ramananda, Mahaprabhu, Srimati Radharani. And there, as we know, after the disappearance of Mahaprabhu and Swarup Damodar, he saw no reason to live any longer in the world and was going to have the darshan of Radha Kund, Govardhan, and throw himself from the Govardhan and leave this world. But finding Mahaprabhu and Swarup Damodar again and Rupa and Sanatana, he continued his life, became servitor, assisted by Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami, and transferred the full wealth of Swarup Damodar Das Goswami to Krishna's Kaviraj. And we have Sri Chaitanya Charitamritam. But in the depths of that separation, he penned this sloka, Sunyaite mahagoshtam girindro jagarayate vyagram tundayate kundam jivatu rahitasya me. In the Shikshastakam, Govinda virahena me, separation from Krishna, is being expressed there with such intensity and magnitude. But we know in the Ramananda Samvad that Mahaprabhu himself asked Ramananda, what is the most unbearable pain in this world? The most unbearable suffering? And we could think, oh, he's going to reiterate what was said there about the Govinda viraha, Krishna viraha, but surprisingly, he says, Krishna bhakta viraha bina duk nahi deki par. There is no more unbearable separation or pain than the separation from the Krishna bhakta, the devotee of Krishna. Because that is all, we are so guru-centric, that is all in all for the devotees. We never think, and in the line of Das Goswami, of any direct connection, but always through the servitors of the Lord. That is our guru-viraha. So there is no question of Krishna-viraha, or being or feeling that without the connection of a devotee. Bhaktya sanjataya bhaktya. It's a devotee who awakens devotion in others. So Das Goswami, he's saying, Sunya, like Sunyayatam Jagat, here, Sunyayate Mahagoshtam Girindro Jagarayate. He's taken it to another magnitude by saying, not just void or vacant, but those things that were formerly the source of inspiration to me now appear inimical or antagonistic. What is that? We know. Nija nikata nivasa dehi govardhana danatvam. His worshipable service aspiration, Giriraj Govardhan, he's saying, looks like, now Govardhan looks like a python coming to swallow, devour me. And Radha Kunda, that holy of holiest places, looks like a tiger's gaping jaws coming to devour me. These are the opening statements of Srila Guru Maharaj to the devotees when they approached him after the disappearance of Srila Swami Maharaj. And subsequently, we can understand, this is Guru Maharaj's advice. We had to feel this for his divine grace himself, for Srila Govinda Maharaj, and now for Srila Acharya Maharaj. The same sort of feelings are there, and the same advice is still coming from the founder Acharya of the Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat, Srila Guru Maharaj. These are not things that were said long ago, or they may have been from an objective point of view. It's an eternal flow, an eternal stream. It's live streaming reality. This is Guru Maharaj's advice, and we should take it to heart. And just for the sake of accuracy, to a few more words from Srila Guru Maharaj at that time. He's talking about the separation from Gurudev. He said, the absence of my Gurudev, my dearest and my highest spiritual guardian. In other places, Guru Maharaj would say, in a sweet way, but he'd say, Krishna has to deal with so many, but my Guru, he's dealing with me. That sort of. Who has the most intense affection for me, to nurture me for spiritual purpose. He is not here. How can I tolerate this? My everything is gone. All vanishes with his departure. These are the things that Srila Guru Maharaj tells us. And he says, union and separation is the highest realization. Viraha, vipralamba, and it is the most spacious thing pertaining to Krishna consciousness. Meaning other things are very narrow. The culture of unity, he's saying, but separation is very broad and spacious. And we can have the grace of that plane. If there is Krishna connection, then we are safe. We are safe. In separation, we shall have Krishna consciousness in the background and nothing else. No Maya, the safest position, the surest position. In Vipralamba, in separation of Gurudev, if we can stand, then I've passed the highest test, examination. In separation, I can also retain the memory of Sri Gurudev. with regard to His Divine Grace, Om Vishnu Pad, Srila Bhakti Nirmal, Acharya Maharaj. A few things I wanted to say, and I'd written a few, collected a few, will tell a few, and give others their opportunity. But I mentioned this, I said, in recognition of your outstanding personality and unparalleled devotion, Srila Gurudev, Srila Govinda Maharaj proclaimed you the Acharya of Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat and Nabadwip Dham and all of its extensions. In recognition of your fidelity and managerial expertise, Srila Gurudev entrusted everything to your stewardship, all lands, all properties in India. And we know, like you saw one picture of Acharya Maharaj on the bicycle. There's no seat. There's a devotee, he's sitting on the guard, I guess you call it, the mud guard. Or, yeah, just, there's a little wire, it's not comfortable, put it that way. And what is he doing? With his forever present little umbrella, you know, he's going to oversee a rice field, right? Or some other land or some other project, tirelessly doing, and in the hot Indian sun. And so Srila Gurudev extolled your virtues as an impossible man. That's how he described him. An impossible man, a miraculous man whose energy is overflooded for the service of our society. He is my very dear friend, very dear disciple, very dear worker, everything. My blessings to him. He is doing all of my own attending service duties, and I am so happy. In other words, all of the, and even in his lifetime, all of the service duties of Srila Gurudev that he felt personally responsible for, Srila Acharya Maharaj was doing. So then he could be happy, knowing that there was no fault and nothing was being neglected. And many times we would be on the veranda with Srila Gurudev, and Srila Acharya Maharaj would come for some service necessity. And it would usually be, you know, like 20 minutes, half an hour, just there and gone. He didn't stay there, you know, as part of the Garam Jal Brigade or any of that. Right. Just come in, here's the service necessity, something signed, something approved, gone. Always in the flow of service. Like Guru Maharaj said of one devotee, like who is devoted there every moment, every ounce of energy, every drop of blood to service. Then at one point, the Vaikuntha chariot descends to take them. They're saying like, Prabhu, you've done everything. Now you can go to Vaikuntha. And he said, I have no time for Vaikuntha. I'm busy serving my Guru. I have time for this, to go back to the spiritual world. That is, he is such a devotee. And so when he would come at these times, and it was, you know, brisk and brief, and I would often turn to Srila Gurudev, and I would say, like shaking my head almost, I'd say, he is Acharya Maharaj. Remember, his name is Acharya Maharaj. Ascarja means astonishing, wonderful, incredible. So he's saying, Acharya Maharaj, and Gurudev, yes, Maharaj, smiling happily. Your utter self-sacrifice, tirelessly giving your blood every day, 24 hours a day, in service to Srila Gurudev's mission is unparalleled. And what can only be described as miraculous seva, you establish Sriman Mahaprabhu's divine water play and Sri Gupta Govardhan Mandir at Sri Govinda Kunda in Nabadwip Dham. It was Srila Guru Maharaj's long cherished desire that Mahaprabhu have water pastimes, Jal Krida, in Govinda Kunda. And we know that we will say in Srila Govinda Maharaj's pranam mantram how, you know, Ashisha Shambhushitam Guru Ganai, you know, he's filled all of his Guru's desires and he's got the blessings of all his God brothers. But Srila Gurudev will say, you know, there's some desires of Guru Maharaj that I did not fulfill. He's saying that. He's saying, but I can think of, you know, one or two things he wanted that, you know, are still on my list of things I would like done. But with increasing age and managing this huge mission and everything, sometimes it seemed not possible. But this, he knows this is a divine desire of Srila Guru Maharaj. This is classic Guru Maharaj. Because if you ask someone else, innocent, like what they might want, they could describe a structure or something like that. But what does Guru Maharaj say? That Mahaprabhu will have water sports in Govinda Kunda. And just for the sake of accuracy, he said, Goran Nityananda. You know, that's in Guru Maharaj's mind. That would be wonderful. And he knows that Srila Govinda Maharaj knows what the logistics of realizing that seva. And there will be one mandir there, and you know, Govardhan, you know, Guru Maharaj, that's his thinking, and so Gurudev knows that. But so many years go by, and it's not been realized. So, Srila Acharya Maharaj, he knows the way to the heart of Srila Govinda Maharaj. If you can do some seva that was Guru Maharaj wanted, and that will be for the eternal glory of Guru Maharaj and his mat, then you've captured Srila Govinda Maharaj. Already captured, but he wants to lock, you might say. and then they're trying so much, and we know those who are there, they have to drain the Govinda Kunda, and then they have to, and it won't drain completely, and there are these, just so many difficulties, and the devotees trying in different ways, and then Srila Gurudev's divine thinking, what comes to his mind? The churning of the milk ocean. They also had problems establishing foundation. Like at Suvarnabhumi, where they're churning, and the Kurma avatar. So Gurudev thinks, oh, if we've got Lakshmi, we got Virahadev here, the Shalagram Shila Virahadev on the altar, and if we give some nice paramanna and chant the Kurma slok that appears in the last chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, where it's revealed, Guru Maharaj revealed why. To get that ultimate nectarine substance, what is that amritam? It's madhura-rasa. But so this prishte brahmyara manda mandara giri gravagya kanduyanan. Kurma has an itch on his back, they put them under a hill, relieve the itching. So Gurudev tells the sevak attendant, you offer the paramanna, chant this mantram, and then there'll be success. Right? And lo and behold, that comes through. Then this is built, and there's the inauguration, and Mahaprabhu deity from Guru Maharaj's Samadhi-mandir comes, and on the boat and goes, and there's arati for Giriraj Govardhan. And we know Gurudev writes an arati and said sometimes fortunate souls, when they're tasting, because it's Govinda Kunda, which was originally a mixture of milk and water from Surabhi and Airavata, Indra's elephant, and Surabhi, you know, the original Surabhi, desire cow, Kamadhenu. Gurudev says they're referencing Gargasana, he's saying, and some fortunate souls, when they taste the waters of Govinda Kunda, they will taste that milk. And some fortunate souls, at the inauguration, got that opportunity. And it's just classic Chaitanya Saraswat Mat. There's some drama involved. But afterwards, Mahaprabhu was taken back and then to Guru Maharaj's Samadhi-mandir. And I had the good fortune to be at the side of Srila Gurudev. And I was taken aback by how he was talking to Srila Guru Maharaj. Like really speaking to Srila Guru Maharaj. And he said, your divine graces, desires, wishes have been fulfilled. So Srila Acharya Maharaj, he gave that to Srila Gurudev and everything else. But in addition to everything else, he gave that he could have that moment and say to Guru Maharaj, who is there? Gurudev has the capacity for that sort of recognition. And then following the example of Mahaprabhu, who gave spiritual honor to the Janmastan of his Gurudev, Ishvara Puri, you established the extraordinary, beautiful nine-dome temple in Bamunpara, the holy birthplace of Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Sudhir Govinda Goswami Maharaj, rivaling the beauty of the Mool Mat in Nabadwip. I was a little whoa when I saw that. And I'll say this too, this just shows the drama of Chaitanya Saraswat Mat and Srila Gurudev's ever-present ontological complexity, sense of humor. So Gurudev says, I know he's stealing money from me. And one devotee, who's, the faithful follower of Gurudev, stands, I will go and kill him immediately. Gurudev, Prabhu, the killing not necessary. He said, let me explain. He said, I cannot approve of a temple being built for my glorification. He said, so Srila Acharya Maharaj and Srila Madhusudana Maharaj knows this better than me because he's also a thief. Tell your disciples not to kill me, Maharaj, explain to them. So Gurudev said, so in a, what's the way, surreptitious? Is that a more, all right. In other words, he's saying, they have to take the money without me knowing about it because it's building a temple for me, for my glorification. And can act like we don't know anything about it for 9 months, a year? And Gurudev has to pretend he doesn't know about it. But he's got Nimai Chandra and Prabhu and sending photographs. He knows everything. It's like a sweet pastime. And yes, additionally, you have established the most beautiful temple for the worship of Sri Nitai Gaura Chandra in Birachandrapur, Ekachakra, which was through the generous seva donations of Ananta Krishna Prabhu. And I could say this, in Gurudev's final days, really on the veranda, he told me, he said, I see this picture on the wall and I'm thinking, is that Mahaprabhu? Or I can't see it. And Gurudev, oh Maharaj, no. He said, that is Nityananda Prabhu. And it's Nityananda Prabhu from Ekachakra, from Birachandrapur. And he said, you will not see a more beautiful Nityananda Prabhu. And so then I'm looking at it with new eyes. And Gurudev looks back at me again and he says, no, I'm telling you. Because he sees I'm looking. I'm telling you, you will not see a more beautiful Nityananda Prabhu. And remember, that's the foundation of Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat is built upon the grace of Nityananda Prabhu, the Dhameshwar of Nabadwip Dham. So, but that said, so you can imagine, we'll say, the devotional pride at the Nitai Bari the house of Nityananda and Viraj, if Gurudev is saying you'll not find a more beautiful Nityananda, then they're going to print that on a banner, right? So they are not, how do you say, is that from us? Then they can stop it for a while. And then you say so they're not, they don't easily recognize others and express appreciation. They want you to understand, this is Nitai Bari, Birachandrapur, Ekachakra, this is the place. You don't need to know anything else. Well, maybe, Hadai Kunda, or like that, Hadai Pandit Kunda, that kind of, But when Srila Acharya Maharaj built this temple there and established the Gaur Nityananda deities, and they are, shall we say, divine life size, like 2 meters, the Pandits from the Nitai Bari, they were like, Ore Baba, like they're so beautiful. Khub Sundar, how beautiful are Gaur and Nityananda. They acknowledged that and didn't feel any animus or envy, just so beautiful that even they were overwhelmed in appreciation. And it is not lost upon us that at this moment lies Srila Bhakti Nirmal Acharya Maharaj in Samadhi at the lotus feet of Gaur Nityananda in Birachandrapur. I said, you have established many temples throughout Bengal. We know many, many places. And lastly, or he was emphasizing or residing in Nrsimhapalli. And I pray that all obstacles on the path to your service will be destroyed by the grace of Nrsimhadev. Every year you lead the Gaur Purnima celebration and Nabadwip Dham Parikrama and personally collect vast quantities of ingredients for prasadam, which you happily distribute to the pilgrims with your own hand. Not that one, this hand. You demonstrate steadfast devotion to the songs of Bhaktivinoda Thakur and Narottam Thakur, which you sing beautifully daily wherever you might be. We know hours of these songs where others are exhausted and need a break. They need Acharya Maharaj just continue singing and dancing, sweet singing, dancing, madhura-gita, madhura-nritya. And you're an empowered representative of Mahaprabhu in the Rupa Nuga line. Krishna Shakti Bina Nahi Nara Pravartan. And I wanted to say this, like, Acharya Maharaj is also another side, Gurudev liked this expression, all-rounder. It's kind of like a cricket term, but I mean, someone who's good at everything, basically. So, he's also a very good cook. Sri Patnyasi Maharaj and I, we had the good fortune once to, he cooked this entire feast. And I was shocked. It was all cooked, every single thing preparation was cooked by him. This was in Kolkata. And he also had, a wry sense of humor. So once we're discussing it's in the third canto of the Bhagavatam, it says, if you execute, or force, your prescribed duties, your swadharma perfectly for 100 lifetimes, you qualify for the post of Brahma. And to that, Acharya Maharaj said, but if you do it imperfectly, with faults, for 100 lifetimes, he said, they make you the manager of a mott. lest people think there's not like, a humorous side to Maharaj. That's one example. Right? So, and in his pranam mantra, I had the opportunity to render it into English, but there was one line I felt this one word should have been more clearly expressed there. And it's this word, nirjarasya. Because what it means is like a gushing waterfall-like intensity. That's what it means. There's nothing neutral about Acharya Maharaj, or passive, placid in that sense. But we associate with him gushing waterfall-like intensity, the kind of seva current that's going through, never wasting a moment, always engaged in service. So, as we conceive of Guru Maharaj, Sri Siddhanta, the ocean of Bhakti Siddhanta and Gaudiya Siddhanta and Gurudev is like love and affection personified. Srila Acharya Maharaj is like the Sevak Vigraha. He's the personification servitor, the servitor personification, with so much current passing through him and with this waterfall-like intensity. So, I want to now turn the floor over to Srila Bhakti Ranjan Madhusudan Maharaj, who I think in this assembly, no one knows better Srila Acharya Maharaj than Srila Madhusudan Maharaj. Next in line would be Bhakti Lalita, some 18 years of association and service. But Srila Madhusudan Maharaj, Hare Krishna.
And my obeisances to all of the devotees present here and who will be seeing also in due course of time. So yes, actually, Srila Goswami Maharaj has given us quite a comprehensive covering of Srila Acharya Maharaj's nature and activities. And really, we had our relationship from literally the day he entered within Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Math at the very beginning of the 1990s. And from that day on, so many things, like on a day-by-day basis. First of all, of course, very quietly, and Gurudev is watching as he watches every devotee. He's looking to see what can they do, what are they doing, and Gurudev giving, as Gurudev said himself, I'm giving some test to see what can be done. And then one of the first big tests, but under the supervision, closely under the supervision of Srila Gurudev, was the Centenary Memorial Building. The 100th anniversary, centenary of, or I think in America they say centennial, of Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Rakkhak Sridhar Goswami Maharaj's 100th year since he appeared in this world. And Gurudev, he is giving the overall instruction, the hands-on direction, etc., for the construction of the Centenary Memorial Building. But he's letting go a little bit. He's letting go and seeing what Acharya Maharaj can do. At that time, Binod, his name was Binod. So that time he's seeing what can he do. And then Gurudev guiding, he has experience, Gurudev has so much experience with construction and of course seva. But then from that beginning, that was the first sort of project, big project that Acharya Maharaj was very much involved with. And then after that, Gurudev was very pleased by what he could do. And he said to Acharya Maharaj about Govinda Kunda, he said, this is Guru Maharaj's idea, can you do? And then Acharya Maharaj, he's a very positive natured devotee and saying, Gurudev, yes, I can do. And then Gurudev, very cautious. And by the way, I have to mention something here about Srila Gurudev, Srila Govinda Maharaj's nature. remember, he has been the hands-on manager of Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Math since, you can say anyhow, 1950. He came in 1947, and then, but by 1950, you can say that at least by that time and before, he's running the temple for many years. So this is now 40 plus years, Gurudev. He's every aspect of the mat he's running. And it's very difficult in Gurudev's nature to give up some part of the, like the responsible saver. And so bit by bit, he gave up this charge to Acharya Maharaj, and Acharya Maharaj satisfying Gurudev. Gurudev adjusting things, always adjusting. Acharya Maharaj, as we had just heard, coming to Gurudev, lots of high-speed conversation, and then going back. And Gurudev adjusting things accordingly. He's watching everything, but more and more giving the charge to Acharya Maharaj for the management of many things. And not only of constructing the Govinda Kunda, but gradually the management of the boga, means looking after the food, the storehouse for the boga for the Lord, and so many aspects of the management of the ashram. And then Srila Gurudev, then he begins his world tours, or rather, well, already began perhaps at that stage, but Gurudev on the world tours, then he is very kind of at ease, knowing that Acharya Maharaj is there and he's looking after, he's taking care of everything. He's looking with concern over the whole temple. So this is also another aspect that we really felt that Krishna, Guru Maharaj, somebody has sent such a personality who can take charge like fearlessly and competently. He was very able to organize, and with his nature to get the workers organized, to get others engaged in activity, in service. So he then is looking after that construction, which so much pleased Srila Gurudev, and then step by step, one project after another. And actually one of the big projects at the end was how so many devotees increasingly are coming from the West and increasingly coming from India. So we would literally have 5,000 guests at the time of Gaura Purnima, 5,000 persons staying in the mat for 10 days or 7 days. The peak, well, 5,000 will be for 3 days perhaps, but still many, many people are coming. And he built the 5-story building for the guest house there in Nabadwip Dam with 70 plus rooms, which also is a very big endeavor and very big accomplishment on the kind of earth that is there. And Acharya Maharaj looking after all of these. And yes, we sometimes ask, we're asked this morning also, what's some experience of being with Acharya Maharaj? And we can say a whole list of them, but actually the construction of the Bamunpara temple, the temple at Gurudev's appearance place, was actually a very sweet one, because he involved me in the conspiracy to build the temple. That's the wrong word. Okay, we won't use that word, conspiracy. He involved me in the secret, supposedly secret manifestation of a temple at Gurudev's appearance place. And so we went many times, and Acharya, I promise you, he's brave. He rode on the back of the motorcycle with me many times to Bamunpara, and we used to really have sport on the way. We were younger then, please excuse us. We really did have sport on the way going to Bamunpara, and on some parts, especially the last part, literally going through the rice fields instead of the road, because the road was so bad. But Acharya Maharaj, he was up for the challenge, and he was always like ready for it. But, I mean, this is also part of his nature. He did things joyfully, energetically, joyfully, and he used his like strong bark to the workers and everything to get things done. And he became very expert in how to get things done, like the method of how you do the contracts for construction and so many things. And he was always very jovial, explaining how I did this, how I did this. And, you know, he's a very keen servitor in this way. And in the construction of that temple, we were supposedly doing things quietly, because remember, Gurudev, he's going on his world tours, etc. And Acharya Maharaj, he did say to him, Mahananda, don't tell Gurudev that we're building this, don't tell him. And I told him, Maharaj, no, okay, I won't tell him, but if he asks, I have to say the truth. I'm not going to say no, not building the temple. And anyway, of course, Gurudev does. He knows everything actually, but it was almost like a mischievous project to build that temple. And Gurudev's happiness with that is also, you see, Acharya Maharaj arranging not only construction, but he's arranging the savor at the temple. He arranged the whole opening, where he got a famous Bengali lady movie star. He got some respectable dignitaries from the Bengal government, etc. You know, auspicious looking gentlemen, auspicious looking persons. And really, he made a grand opening. And that's the time when you've seen some pictures perhaps of hundreds and hundreds of people at a time, all in rows, mass prasadam distribution. And all of the aspects is being overseen by Acharya Maharaj, including collecting the bhoga, arranging all the logistics, which is substantial. And not only this, or one time, one festival, but every year, so many festivals in so many places, and some which are not necessarily festivals on the calendar. Like he made a program halfway between Bamunpara and Hapanya. And there's some area there, and he was invited by some disciples of Gurudev. Oh, please, you come here. We've got the opportunity. We can have a festival, invite many people. And that festival, at the time, it was the biggest prasad distribution on one day ever. It was like when we crossed the 10,000 plates of prasadam on one day. And this is all done by Acharya Maharaj. And he was surprised how many people came. And then suddenly, he realizes what's happening. And so then realized, okay, we have to get more rice and down. The cooks have to cook more. And like on the ball while doing everything else, he's managing this. So throughout the year, he's doing so many things in a very miraculous, energetic way. And in the temple in Nabadwip, I've been upstairs with Srila Gurudev, and Gurudev's room looks down over the whole temple so he can see what is happening. And Acharya Maharaj, he would be out all day. Also, by the way, managing then the rice fields in Sinjali, the rice fields which established in the time of, well, not only in the time, long ago, by Guru Maharaj and Gurudev for the service of the mass, service of the deities. And so he managed those rice fields with the planting and the crops, bringing the crops in time, the threshing, all this, that, and the other. And he would be out all day. And it's Bengal. They face many problems for everything. Even you have to compete with the other rice growers to get the water to flow. So that, and it's Bengal. It's not, it's kind of, you've got to be competitive to make sure you got water even for the rice fields, to have electricity for the pump, all these things. Really, he faced so many challenges. On a normal day, what to speak of on an exceptional day. But he faced all these challenges. And one neighbor at the rice fields, they built a wall around their place. And it was like this much, like 9 inches inside inside the mat's property. And Acharya Maharaj, strong as a lion going there, and has the whole wall demolished and to put inside. I mean, this kind of attention. And he said to me, if I don't do that, then it'll be 1 meter or 3 feet in India, feet. It'll be 3 feet, then 10 feet. So, it's that kind of a nature. Anyhow, Acharya Maharaj is managing so many things, but I'd be sitting with Gurudev, and Acharya Maharaj has been out all day, coming back maybe 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So he's been out all the time, hasn't had any prasadam all the time. And he comes back, and then he's watching downstairs and sees Acharya Maharaj goes to where the prasadam would be if somebody had kept prasadam for him, which is, there's the bandari and just beside the bandari. And then he sees Acharya Maharaj is walking away. He said, you see, they didn't even save prasadam for him. And then Acharya Maharaj just goes to his room, gets some muri, chili, and mustard oil, no doubt, and just takes some muri. And then after he's bathing and everything, coming to report to Gurudev, and I'm there with Gurudev, and Gurudev asking him, what did you have for lunch? And Acharya Maharaj just laughing, oh, nothing was there, so I had rice and chili, not rice, muri, which is puffed rice, muri and chili. But he's not feeling bad. That was one thing. Acharya Maharaj kind of never felt bad when he wasn't sort of looked after, or somebody wasn't looking after him as such. And then all of these things, this is a daily matter, so of course, something different every day. And he had to, as the temple got bigger, then more responsibilities for the temple, and he then manages the officials and manages the official paperwork and so many things. Great capacity, and we have so much experience with him, literally from the day he came to the mat all the way through. And his challenges only grew with time. And really, he faced so many challenges before Gurudev's disappearance and after Gurudev's disappearance too. And so, Acharya Maharaj was very bold, very confident, and really, he didn't have he certainly had no life except seva. He didn't have any private life or this, that, or the other at all, it is sure. And we've been with him continuously, and wonderful experiences in all kinds of aspects. And for everybody, for going collecting with Acharya Maharaj is a wonderful example of going out and for the benefit of others. He's also seeing that it is the benefit of others. So I'm telling them, you must give more than this. It's your benefit. And this way, very dynamic preacher. And hot. This is hot. We are going through the day. And then in the evening, an evening program, and then Acharya Maharaj, again, as we heard, chanting, and then lots of Hari Katha. Then next day again, starting again. So extremely dynamic. Hare Krishna. And I would just like to say, today is our remembrance, if you like, our third day after his disappearance. I'd just like to mention something that, we directly can feel and hear from Gurudev, that this festival that we're doing for Acharya Maharaj, it's not like a Shraddha ceremony where we're doing something which is a traditional thing in India for the benefit of the departed soul. He's already gone through the door from this material environment, to the eternal association of Srila Gurudev. And I also think that Gurudev is probably arranging his next seva right now, saying, yes, Acharya Maharaj, okay, here you are you ready? And then he'll be smiling, yes, Gurudev, yes, Gurudev. And so this is the day when we are actually giving the glorification for our benefit, for the benefit of us, and not for the benefit of the departed soul. And so this is one point. And I'd just like to also say that a devotee, a disciple of Guru Maharaj, he did not know that Acharya Maharaj had passed away. And he wrote and said, I had an amazing dream of Srila Govinda Maharaj with a big kirtan party and so many devotees around him. I said, I had this amazing dream. And then he found out that Acharya Maharaj had passed away. And I thought, oh, look at that. This is like some little thing that we can also understand. And Gurudev, he would give mercy to somebody who did like a little service in the past and maybe didn't do much service later on. And we saw that, I mean, really, we saw that. The Gurudev never leaves somebody who's done any service. He considers that is service to Guru Maharaj. So what to speak of someone like Acharya Maharaj, who did so much service continuously, as well as the landmark points in his career, but it's not a career, of course. The landmark parts of his pastimes in service of the constructions and the festivals and the management and so many other things for the satisfaction of Gurudev, for the satisfaction of Guru Maharaj. So this was also a very joyful message I received. And we also happily heard Amir Sindhu Prabhu from Russia, who was there and received Acharya Maharaj, the entourage, as they came to Ekachakra. Then he expressed that when he saw the face of Acharya Maharaj, he said it was like seeing the face of someone who just had a wonderful vision, like just seeing something very wonderful. And then when we heard that also, oh, so wonderful. So Krishna consciousness is real. And this is our opportunity to remind ourselves of that reality. And we have this opportunity to remember and glorify and, genuinely give this day in remembrance of one great servitor, Srila Bhakti Nirmal Acharya Maharaj. And just one last point from me too, that also we know this suffering when we have our exclusive Gurudev, when we have our Gurudev, all our attention is there, and suddenly we find ourselves, you can say, orphaned without our Guru. It is natural. We have experience of this in this world, and our hearts go out to all of the devotees, and just simply can say that there is a loving family of Vaishnavas around the world, and everybody is giving their empathy, their heart solace to those who've in bereavement, who've got bereaved in separation from Sri Guru, and whatever solace, whatever assistance we can give from any quarter, then please don't feel completely alone. Nobody can replace one's father, nobody can replace one's Guru, but we can try to give help and assistance for the one unifying thing for us all, that Acharya Maharaj, Gurudev, Guru Maharaj, Saraswati Thakur, they're all coming to give us Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And our age, our time, it's the time of Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat, the mission of Gauranga's teaching, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu coming through Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And we all have to go on. In the material world, the children go on when the parents die. In the spiritual family, then we, the children, need to go on when the parents, the gurus, the senior section, are passing away from this world. And they disappear, but they don't depart. So anyway, today, this special day, and it's 3 days afterwards, and sometimes we've also had inquiries, why 3 days and not 10 days? Because it is true, in the time of Guru Maharaj, then, when Guru Maharaj passed away, Srila Gurudev arranged that, yes, we will follow the Indian tradition for 10 days after Guru Maharaj disappeared, not for Guru Maharaj, not for that purpose, because we are not doing anything for Guru Maharaj in the same way that we explained, but rather that 10 days will give the opportunity for people to gather from all over India and the world to come together for the festival. And similarly, in that light, after Srila Gurudev passed away, that it was 10 days afterwards, in order to give an opportunity for devotees to come from around the world and around India for that festival, to be together. But this is the age when we can't come to India. And it's also become the age of where everything needs to be instant through the internet. And even on the very day of Srila Acharya Maharaj's disappearance, devotees are wanting to come together in a festival Zoom. They're trying to make a mahotsav, a grand festival for his departure. But this way, some respectful 3 days following as Gurudev gave in the case of exalted Vaishnavas, a little time for respect, for mourning, for getting our life airs together, for breathing. And now the 3rd day after, then we're here happily in glorification of Acharya Maharaj without delay, so that in this internet age of instant everything, we can try to give solace to the hearts of the devotees and to nourish the hearts of the devotees by hearing the glories of the devotees. Jai Srila Bhakti Nirmala Acharya Maharaja ki Jai.
Hare Krishna. And you'll speak next. And I would be remiss, and I think Srila Acharya Maharaj would want that we mentioned today is also the appearance day of Srila Bhakti Bichar Jajavar Maharaj, who is the last sannyas disciple of Srila Saraswati Thakur. And something of him reminds me of Srila Acharya Maharaj too, that one of the Guru Maharaj said, his acquisition of former life was such that when he went to search, easily he got enjoined forever. Very easy. Saying so. One devotee said, you come in here, Saraswati, done. That was his, brought to one place, done. Not here, 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 so many places. Just came there, Acharya Maharaj comes to the mat, he makes this connection. And one other thing reminds him too, and of our situation. We're in the world you need to be afraid of. And I don't think I need to go into the details of that right now. That's the normal condition of this world, and now it's the abnormal, extreme condition of this world. So Jajavar Maharaj, he was young, young when he came, like 17, 18, and then the time comes for a sannyas, or Saraswati Thakur is asking he take sannyas. They're not asking. Saraswati Thakur confers. But Jajavar Maharaj is young and approaching senior devotees. I don't know, can I keep this? And it's such a serious, sacred thing. And he has some doubts. And expresses those to Guru Maharaj and telling like, yes, some other senior devotees saying, Prabhu, maybe not. Like afraid. So when Guru Maharaj realizes this is what's circulating amongst the disciples of Saraswati Thakur, he goes to Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur personally and says, this is the situation. Then Saraswati Thakur calls Jajavar Maharaj and he's saying these things. He's saying, you are going to the Abhaya Pada, the fearless world. It's this world you should be afraid of. In this act of sacrificing yourself and dedication, you're going to the fearless zone, right? And the non-electricity zone. Okay. Anyway, you might want to wait a minute. All the power here just went out. Are we broadcasting? Oh, we are. Okay, all these monitors, you did something, they're all unplugged. So, it's the current. We need that current to stay in that current. And that's what I want to say. And that zone, just to tie that off. And then Guru Maharaj says beautifully, because we're saying the abhaya pada, because pada means feet, but like abhaya charanaravinda, that, Govinda Das, his song, but also, and what is that world? Guru Maharaj said, Radha Padman Kitadam Vrindavan Jaranam. That's, why should we be so fearful? It's the zone that's embellished with the holy lotus feet of Srimati Radharani and the service of her and her divine servitors. This is the plane you want to connect with without delay, without fear, without a moment's hesitation. Sri Bhakti Lalita Devi Dasi, 18 years plus association connection with Srila Acharya Maharaj.
Of course, on Monday, on the 10th of May, when we heard the news of Acharya Maharaj passing, it was a very reflective day for me, and getting sadder by the moment to reflect back like, you know, how did we get here? And how did this begin? Where did it all start? And remembering his own words, Srila Acharya Maharaj told, and Goswami Maharaj asked me to reiterate a little tribute that I wrote for him. And he joined slightly after me, so we saw how he came and how he appeared out of nowhere. I use the word mysterious because he was very mysterious. We don't know where he came from. We don't know, like, how old is he? Who are his parents? Etc., etc. Just
He descended from the upper world.
out of nowhere he appears
Out
at
of
the front
Vaikuntha
gate.
blue.
He comes to the Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat, enters and notices there's no security system here, there's no guard, the temple, the deities' doors are open, and he came in and pays his respects and began at that moment to guard the gates of the Mat. He sat down and saw the comings and goings and got to know who's the residents here, and seeing, oh, somebody's sick, they need some medicine, the kitchen needs some ingredients, the cows need attention, the crops fields need caring for, the brahmacharis aren't waking up in the morning, I have to go. And he started waking everyone up, in his own words, sometimes with a bucket of water, to get everyone out of bed for Mangala Arati, to join the programs. And
We should not imitate his behavior.
so just one by one, through his ability to serve, as Gurudev, his famous words, who can play football? The ball will always go to their feet. The ball will always come to their feet.
Yeah.
So he was our best football player. Comes in the mat and sees so many things need to be done, and can he himself executing those things, organizing, managing those things, and one by one removing the headache of our Gurudev for management, because we would see before Acharya Maharaj, the cook would come in, ask for ingredients to Gurudev. The pujari would come and say he's missing a pot, and the cow man would come, the cows are sick, we need this, we need that. And Gurudev had to do all this himself, and it was always a headache. And when he'd have to go somewhere, he would be called by Nabadwip for all these little things that Acharya Maharaj came and took care of, which allowed Gurudev to travel and preach. So many things have been said.
Worry-free, he
Yeah.
would say.
Worry-free, and not only maintain what was already going on, but expand. And soon taking responsibility for Hapanya, and as we heard, manifesting Bamunpara, and many other temples around Bengal. Ekachakra was a really big project, and I mentioned how Gurudev very much wanted to go, and he oversaw so many of the plans and the temple designs, and gave his insight in the measurements of the deities, and would get reports and pictures. But the journey to get to Ekachakra was not easy for Gurudev. It was not easily accessible to go from Calcutta or Nabadwip. So Acharya Maharaj built a helicopter landing pad for Gurudev, in case he would be able to come by helicopter. And that was a desire of Gurudev, and he really thought, like, maybe he would be able to come by helicopter, because he really wanted to go.
Was there when he asked him, he knows what the answer is, but he had to ask Gurudev, they have the helicopter waiting and ready for you, will you?
Yeah. It never happened, but I think that was only on the physical plane. Then for sure Gurudev has been there, he's installed there with the deities, Shishi Nitai, Gaurachandra, and that's the perfect place for Srila Bhakti Nirmala Acharya Maharaj's Samadhi-mandir. He's now sitting in Samadhi at the lotus feet of Shishi Nitai Gaurachandra. And we can thank so much Avadut Maharaj for being there, assisting in that effort. Because we know in the Sringapali there could have been some problems, some difficulty with the Nrsimhapali temple, building the wall, blocking the mat there, and whether or not the samadhi would be suitable there, or even disputed. That was a question. So Srila Acharya Maharaj very much helped and was already in Ekachakra when Acharya Maharaj departed from the world.
Divine arrangement, I think.
Yes. So everything happened in its own perfect way, and we're all feeling this came prematurely, and it's Acharya Maharaj, I once saw his actual birth certificate, and he was like 52.
Right now I think he would be around 55, 56.
He wasn't much
He says he
older.
was 28 when he came in 92.
Yeah.
In one
Anyway,
place
that's a mystery.
I know, but
It's another mystery.
he's beyond
But-
age, beyond, how do you say,
Designation.
designation. Sarvapadi vinirmuktam, tatpuratena.
But for us, it feels a little too soon.
Yes.
Another one gone too soon. And he's not just any other one. He's
But
Srila
on
Bhakti
that,
Nirmala
Saraswati
Acharya.
Thakur, 10 years of intensity. Swami, we know whole life, but 10 years. Swami Maharaj, 10 years. Guru Maharaj, a little less than that. Gurudev, 20. Acharya Maharaj, 10 years. So a fire, burning so brightly. Like a yuga. Yuga also means 12 years.
Because Gurudev disappeared in 2010. And then Acharya Maharaj really 2011 until now. It's 10 years.
It's a yuga.
And somehow our mission must go on, and that can only be by everyone coming together and being united for the Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat and its dignity. We must go on with each other and appreciate each other and give honor, be humble, be tolerant, give honor. Yes?
No, sorry.
And in this way, our future is bright. The Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat will continue. So I wanted to offer like Madhusudan Maharaj, offering his services to the devotees who feel they need some solace, some soothing reassurance, and if there's any way I can be helpful to any of the devotees around the world, I'm at your service. Jai Srila Bhakti Nirmala Acharya Maharaj Tirobhav Mahahotsav Titi Ki Jai.
Joy.
Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Rakhak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada Ki Jai. Shri Giriraj Govardhan Ki Jai. Shri Guru Gauranga Gandharva Govinda Sundar Ju Ki Jai. Jai Nantakoti Vaishnav Vrinda Ki Jai. Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Gaur Premanande.
But I saying also, what about Acharya Maharaj being relentless? Sometimes Srila Janardana Maharaj would accompany him on, like, you have to go to these dignitaries and give them an invitation to come to the Gaur Purnima festival. And Janardana Maharaj is like, he would be with Acharya Maharaj, and they're going to some man, and some man would go, "Now I am an atheist, I don't believe in God." And they go, "Well, yes, but sir, we're having this time, you know." No, I will not participate in any way, shape, or form in such religious festival, you know. And Acharya Maharaj would keep insisting, and he would turn to Janardana Maharaj and say, "He's coming. Put him down as coming." And maybe it was their good fortune if they did have a change of heart and come. But he would not take no as an answer. Right, he wasn't out, you know, he'd say, "Put him down, he's coming." And also, like Mukunda, who was Madhusudan Maharaj briefly, from England, we all know, very favorite devotee, would accompany Acharya Maharaj sometimes. We know Mukunda Prabhu was a lover of ice cream, right? And he once got Avadut Maharaj to we were on a bus with Gurudev, get the bus to stop in St. Petersburg. He goes, "What the chap over there, what's he selling?" You know, he knew, and it's ice cream. Avadut Maharaj bought the entire ice cream stand, brought it on board, and we're with Gurudev, all happily eating ice cream. So we know Mukunda loves ice cream. He's with Acharya Maharaj, out collecting, getting sick, you know, inviting people, and somehow ice cream comes up. And so Acharya Maharaj is saying, we have that. And Mukunda is saying, "No, they have these ice cream shops in the West where there's like 31 flavors, 100, many, we have that. In India, we also are having." And he takes them to one of these places, and he shows them, and there are all these different types of ice cream, and Mukunda gets all excited, and Acharya Maharaj says, "See, Prabhu, I told you, we have that here. Now let's go." He's not going to waste a moment, a penny on anything that, you know, he's like, "Now let us go, continue. But I'm proving to you, we have that." Hare Krishna.
Just wanted to say, while we're sitting and glorifying Srila Acharya Maharaj, glorifying a Vaishnava, the demigods, they joined in. That little rain, and the sun was shining bright. Yes, Devashnan. And very little rain, very soft rain was coming.
I saw Devendra Prabhu, you put the camera on that one lily, and you could see raindrops.
Yes.
Hare Krishna.
And something similar we witnessed during Srila Gurudev's disappearance last times too. Anyhow, after hearing Goswami Maharaj, Madhusudan Maharaj, Bhakti Lalita, I can only, with bowed head and full dandavat, sign my name under whatever they said. Because really, we can say many things, but it's already been said. But we can also, from my personal experience, I can say a few things. And I think all the devotees, at least all the male devotees, they went on the village collecting programs.
Yeah.
And you know how you can be just chanting there, thinking about you think you're thinking about something really high, chanting your japa, and then suddenly Acharya Maharaj appears. Prabhu, you want to come with me? You want to come with me? So, yes, Maharaj, where are we going? Oh, please come. Very nice seva, very nice seva. Just loads us on the truck. And then on the way he explains, we're going to the village, we need to we need to see some people doing some preaching we're going to do. And then we go there, and you think, okay, we're going to be back for lunch. Immediately you're thinking, okay, how about my lunch? Not happening.
Lunch is not a word.
It's cancelled. And whatever. If there is some chance, something, maybe some muri will come on the way, maybe you're lucky you're going to get it. And really it's the whole day of preaching. One house, another house, another house, another house, still. And he is full of energy, and he looks at you, and he sees that you're going to die, you're going to pass out. And that's when he decides to go back to the temple. And at that time, you don't think about lunch, dinner, you just want to go back and just lay down and maybe just leave this world. So I was on a couple of these kind of trips, and I remember the last trip, and Maharaj is building Ekachakra temple. Same spot, I'm just sitting, chanting japa in front of the centennial building. He said, "Oh, Prabhu, you want to come with me?" I said, "Maharaj, where are we going first?" He said, "Oh, we're going to Ekachakra." "Oh, yes, Maharaj, Ekachakra. When are we coming back?" "Oh, tomorrow, Prabhu, morning." "Okay, let me just grab my gamcha." So we're getting on, and just me, him, and the driver, and maybe one more brahmachari coming. And really, it took us the whole day. We left early in the morning, and then we did the whole village program on the way, because he said, why would we waste our time, energy, and the gasoline? We're passing through these villages, so let's just stop everywhere. So the same thing happened.
He's using you. He knows
Yes.
that these Bengali village people, if they hear there is some 2-meter man who looks like Gauranga,
195, Maharaj.
like they're all gonna. That's gonna be the draw. They all want to come and see you. So you don't even if you didn't say anything, which I know you didn't, but he's using you to capture everyone.
But you see, for me, it was just few days of experience. For him, it was his life.
Yes.
Daily life. And I have to say, when you come to of course, if it's Lalita, Bhakti Sudhir Maharaj, Goswami Maharaj, they're living in Nabadwip, they're seeing him, they have more chance to see him, but when we come for a month or two, a couple of weeks, we don't really see him, but we do hear him. You can hear him shouting some orders everywhere, and like by magic, everything is just appearing. The prasadam, the devotees are satisfied in Gurudev, and you see him in the morning, coming for Gurudev's darshan, like Goswami Maharaj said. He's just there for 20 minutes, and he's not bathing in the rays of mercy and glory. He comes to report about his seva, get more seva, see if more seva necessary, and Gurudev forgot about it, and then he leaves right away.
Yes.
And you don't see him till the next morning, but you hear him.
Yeah.
Really, he's like everywhere.
And at the parikrama, I have to say like that. You're exhausted. You just walk 20 kilometers, dancing, chanting, everything. When I couldn't go on, I was like, I don't know if I can walk another step. Manasa Krishna Prabhu, playing in Mridanga and dancing the whole way. Right? But anyway, by the time you get back and the Mahalam going through your head and you're trying to get some sleep, and then at like 2:45 a.m. you hear, and you hear, "Good morning, pilgrims." And it's Acharya Maharaj on his bullhorn.
Or for instance, taking prasadam. We all know how we want to relish prasadam. Spend at least 15 minutes. At least. Maybe half an hour or something. Relish prasadam. And I had some fortune to have some prasadam dinners and lunches with Acharya Maharaj. By the time you just finished Mahaprasad Govinda, he's finished already. He already left. He said, "Oh, Prabhu, I'm sorry, I have to go, I have to do some service." And you're just sitting there and taking prasadam. Really, not wasting any second for anything for himself, giving everything for Gurudev and devotees. And I think it was a great time of need when Gurudev needed someone like that to come. Yeah. And he is praying to Srila Guru Maharaj, praying to Krishna, and then he appeared. And knowing how perfect of a servitor Gurudev is, he infused him with all the powers that he had, plus whatever Acharya Maharaj had on top of it. And you got a perfect servitor in that case. And about that joke that he said, Maharaj, about performing your household, yes, your swadharma.
Your swadharma perfectly for 100 verses.
Exactly.
That's a sloka from the Bhagavatam.
That's right. So
you get the post of Brahma, but he said, if you do it imperfectly, you become mat manager.
So we can say, in his case, and if you become a mat manager, after that, doing those things imperfectly for 100 years, you got that position. And in his case, I have to say, it takes one lifetime to go to Goloka Vrindavan. And not just that, but Srila Gurudev personally will come and take you by hand over there and immediately engage you in service.
Yeah.
So we can conclude here because really there are other devotees who can say more.
Yes,
Jai Srila Bhakti Nirmalacharya Maharaj Ki Jai.
Is there anyone in Govinda Dham? Because I know it's very late there.
Is anybody there?
I can't see the screen. You have to take a look.
We do have Govinda, and I believe we have Divya Shakti.
Oh, Divya Shakti Didi.
She was supposed to speak.
Yes, yes. So if Divya Shakti
Pardon
is
me?
there.
Divya was supposed to speak at one of our events.
Yeah, oh, okay, now,
Never called.
is she here? You have to, someone, all right, then ask her if she would like to say, oh, I see, there she is. Dhanyavad Divya Shakti Didi. Hare Krishna.
Can you hear me?
Yes, good.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, this is amazing. After hearing, I just want to offer my obeisances to you, Srila Goswami Maharaj, and to you, Srila Madhusudan Maharaj, and to all the devotees, and to all the disciples of Srila Acharya Maharaj, and to you, Bhakti Lalita Didi. And I just wanted to say that you have all said so many things, so many wonderful things and beautiful things about Srila Acharya Maharaj. It just melts our hearts and gives us so much life and joy and happiness and remembrance, and we're just right there. But I want to say a little something about the fire of separation, because I'm thinking about his disciples so much. And I can remember, and we can relate, because when Gurudev left us here, he gave us some warning, and he was in Sevak Bhavan, and there was a time that Ramachandra Prabhu was the guard, and Srila Gurudev was very ill. He was sick, and we couldn't go to see him anymore. And it was just like shocking. It was so shocking to all of us that we couldn't go and talk to Gurudev. We couldn't talk to him. We couldn't ask him anything or say anything, because he has given us everything. He gave us everything already. So that fire of separation, I was feeling that before he even left, that I couldn't see him anymore. And it was devastating. And I was just feeling so stuck and sad. But it actually deepened your desire to figure out how you can serve him, how you can please him. So this separation, this Vipralamba, what you're talking about, Srila Goswami Maharaj, is a very amazing thing, because when I first came, I always wondered who to go to in my life, someone to give me guidance. I need to know what to do in my life. And you finally found that person, and then you can't see him anymore. So anyway, I just wanted to say that. And this fire of separation, we should embrace it and know that it's very cleansing, and it will give us some happiness, some service. It will increase our service desire. And that's what will happen. It will increase your service desire so much. And I also wanted to say that Srila Acharya Maharaj reminds me of Srila Govinda Maharaj, in the sense that Srila Gurudev actually was given the charge of all the Western devotees to serve Guru Maharaj, because Guru Maharaj couldn't take care of the Westerners. So Srila Govinda Maharaj did that on behalf of Srila Guru Maharaj. So Srila Acharya Maharaj also took care of the mat, so that Srila Govinda Maharaj could travel all over the world and meet all of us and give us his association. So if it wasn't for Srila Acharya Maharaj, Srila Govinda Maharaj wouldn't have been able to come all over the world and meet with all of us. And so he did this miraculous service of taking charge of the mat in India and looking after everything, like Bhakti Lalita said. And that also reminds me of the qualities of Srila Gurudev that Srila Acharya Maharaj had. And these things just came to me just from listening to all of you today. I'm not a really good public speaker, so you have to be a little bit patient and bear with me because I get a little bit nervous in front of all of you exalted souls. But I wanted to say a little something about Srila Acharya Maharaj's kindness, because he was so very kind. He had a very fiery nature, and his fire was for service alone, right? And we all know that. We all hear about his glories and we know about everything that he's done. But he was so kind in the sense that when there was, he was kind to me because he allowed me to do service and come with me. So this service needed to be done, and I don't even know why, but this service needed to be done for the deity room in Sri Nabadwip Dham. And Acharya Maharaj took me personally to the place where you buy tiles and had me pick out whatever I wanted, whatever color I wanted to make the deity room, because the deity room was downstairs and it would get flooded. It was in the Samadhi-mandir, if you all ever remember, it was in a corner there. So we had to move it upstairs. And actually a Prakrita, who is Jai Shri's husband, he gave me the donation. It was the how do you say it? A dowry? You know, when your daughter becomes of age. Well, he gave that for the money to buy all the property for the new deity room. And Acharya Maharaj took me personally and said, just get whatever you need. I don't even know how it came to be. I think I told him that I wanted to help with a deity room. And he took me there and he allowed me to pick out all of this paraphernalia for the deity room. And that was a beautiful service that I was allowed to do by his grace. And so that was very beautiful. And also another one of his kind acts was when he allowed me, he could, you know how, you know, mercy is available to the most fallen souls. So, you know, he had some job. He would always say, I have some job. So he had some big job in Jagannath Puri. And he asked me to come with him and help to restore and clean Srila Gurudev's veranda and room in Sri Puri Dham. And it really needed to be attended to. And I was very honored for that. And I went with him and Santos and, the other devotee who used to manage that mat there. We took the train and then we went there, and I just got to go out and buy all this stuff for Srila Gurudev's room. And it was Acharya Maharaj that asked me. And it was just like the four of us. I got to go with him alone. And I was like, 11 days we were there. So his kindness was amazing. And I don't know, he was just a very, he had a beautiful heart. And he was very kind and giving and very loving. And it's just amazing, beyond all of his fiery nature and his energetic nature for doing so much service. And he was there for so long. I don't actually remember what the service was that he had to do there, but it was just amazing. I just feel like I was very fortunate to have his association and to have his affection. Of course, there were times when he got angry at me once very intensely, and I thought that I was gonna leave the mission, but I knew that I couldn't, and I knew I had to come back to his feet because he was Gurudev's man, and I didn't want to displease Gurudev. And so I got it within my heart to come back to the lotus feet of Srila Acharya Maharaj and try to serve him. And it was so wonderful because I had that reciprocation with him. And I'm just so grateful that I always try to come back to him and stick to his lotus feet and try to serve him with everything I could. And our relationship flourished again, and he was just very giving and very kind again, and it was just so beautiful. And I'm just very grateful that I got to serve him and to know him and to learn to love him, and just admire all of his devotees and his disciples in India, in Bengal, and in Singapore and Malaysia and everywhere. All the devotees love him so much all over the world, and he has so many people that love him and adore him so much, and they gave their life for him. So I just feel very honored, and he is a very great soul. And another thing I wanted to say is that he is here more now so than ever. He hasn't gone anywhere. He's here more so. You can feel him alive more so now. And it's just a very wonderful thing to feel that and to know that he is alive and well, and he's here to spread the holy name around. So anyway, I can't say too much more, but there's so many beautiful pastimes of Srila Acharya Maharaj, what he's done for our mission worldwide and abroad. And he's traveled to many of the countries. He's been to Mexico and Russia and so many places, and giving his association to all the devotees around the world, even if it's not physically, but it's just spiritually, just here and setting such a beautiful example for all of us through his books, through his website. All of his instructions are just amazing on the international website. And I just bow down to his lotus feet, and I'm so sorry that you guys listen to me, but it's I was very distraught, but due to the mercy of all the devotees around the world, and here where I'm associating now, I'm here in Salt Lake City, I just have some strength to go on and try to push on in my spiritual life and just remember all these great souls. And Dandavats to all of you.
Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Shakti Didi Ki Jai, Srila Bhakti Nirmala Acharya Tirobha Mahamahotsavi Ki Jai, Nitai Go Premanande. Now we want to chant Srila Acharya Maharaj's Pranam Mantram composed by Srila Gurudev, offer the flowers, and then sing Ye Anilo Premadana, followed by Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Hare Krishna. So please stand, come, get the flowers, repeat after me. Hare Krishna. I'm just going to do it from here and then stand, but you all stand up. You need to move this over here. Okay. Hare Krishna. Puja Sri Guru Varga Bandita Mahabhava Anvitaya. You can turn that off. You can turn that off. Sada Purva Parja Parampara Prachalita Prajya Pramurtakrite Bhakter Nirmala Nirjarasya Nibritam Samrakshakam Saddaram Vande Sri Gurudevam Anatasira Acharya Barjam Nijam Jai Srila Bhakti Nirmal Acharya Maharaj Tirobab Mahamahotsavatiti Ki Jai Nitai Go Premanande